Welcome everyone. Welcome to purplelunarose tarot and astrology. Tonight we're going to be doing music and tarot. A little last minute. If you're joining me live, feel free to share out. I'm not necessarily running behind, but I'm still getting my cards ready. Welcome everyone. Because we are multi-streaming, so we're on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch all at the same time. So it is music and tarot tonight, guys. So if you have any song requests, now would be a good time. How's the sound? Sound a little better? A little echo. Alright, guys. So just for fun tonight, just hanging out, doing some reading. I like doing some tarot. And I'm gonna start with the collective real quick, just to see where everyone's at. Hard to hear you. What about now? Is that better? This way. My voice is a little quiet. I'm right next to the mic, so it shouldn't be quiet. All right, let me try this. Hold on. Let me get rid of that, and let me move the phone a little. All right, is that a little better? Are we better? Can we hear okay? Sound check. Guys, I'm reading tarot from bed. I've got my big comfy blanket. The windows cracked just about an inch so I can let the cool breeze in. My fan's going. Um, I had to, give Carson the boot, so he's upset with Nanny right now. Um, so I'm sure we'll hear about it for a little bit. I told him if he could just, sit in my lap quietly and not touch the cards, we could be rich like tomorrow. You know what I'm saying? But he really likes all Nana's pretty stuff. Diana says loving the ghost. Okay, sweet. I'm glad it's better. How's the music? Can you hear the music? So I was getting ready. I was making trying to find a playlist for like Halloween music. This isn't actually Halloween music. It's really angelic sounding, if you ask me. But I found this lady. This lady's name is Anya. I don't know if you guys have ever heard of her. Apparently, she's an Irish singer, and I mean, I think she's like top Irish singer under U2. Like U2 is the number one Irish group, and then this Anya lady is right underneath her. But the interesting thing about the Anya lady who's singing this music is she never married. She never had any children, and in the early '90s, I think it was maybe late '90s, she bought a castle. The Hierophant just flipped out while I was shuffling. The Hierophant is Taurus energy. But she bought this castle and she lives in this castle by herself with her 12 cats. Now, I will say that the castle, so I got so interested when I found this lady in this story, right? So I started researching, and the castle is not like super huge. Yes, Enya. I might be saying it wrong, but you spelt it right. But anyway, the castle, she was describing it in one of these oh, interviews that somebody was doing with her, and she was saying how it's actually not, like super huge. I mean, it's a castle, it's big, but it's more like a home, like a giant home, like a big home. And she said that's what drew her, to buy it. And apparently it was built in the 1800s, late 1800s, but in the early 1900s, it had a fire. So part of it, had some fire damage. So she's been remodeling and redoing it since, the 90s. So I just thought that was so interesting, though. Never married, never had any children, lives in this giant castle and sings these beautiful songs. All right. I am using the Modern Witches Tarot. I am going to do a quick collective just to check in with everybody. We'll look at masculine and feminine energies. But when I pulled out the Modern Witches Tarot, I noticed this extra card here. It says, "You're a badass being full of life, love, and possibilities. Through this deck, may you find a path to your best self." Guys, if you want to check out the Modern Witches Tarot, you can find this deck over on my TikTok channel in my showcase. And the descriptions are always, I'm sorry, the links are always in the description box. All right, so on your screen, guys, I shared some information. We looked back at the history of the veil, like why does everybody say that the veil is thin this time of year? And I also shared a fun and festive, and I think pretty simple, easy ritual for those of you that want to practice communicating while the veil is thin. So all of that information will be on your screen. I hope it's not too small. If it is, guys, screenshot so you can blow it up and see it bigger. All right. Diana says the acoustics are probably good in her castle. I know, right? I listened to one of them. It's called The Watermark, and it is Enya, Enya. But the watermark apparently was Princess Diana's favorite. She said she met her twice, and the second time she met her, she told her the watermark was her favorite. All right, Queen of Cups flies out. Speaking of Princess Diana. So Queen of Cups is unconditional love. Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces coming out strongly. The water energies. It's probably because we're experiencing. When is this? Very soon, either right now or very soon, like in the next couple of days. I know it goes on into the beginning of November. We're experiencing that grand water trine. So the water signs, Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces, really getting a little bit of I want to say like a boost, but the boost can come in different ways. So if you're a Cancer, Scorpio, or Pisces, right now you're experiencing the balance of karma with this grand water trine, just because of the planets that are in the trine, right? So Jupiter mostly, um, it's karma. So it's like if you put out good things into the world right now, you're receiving good karma, right? Good things are coming. Um, for an example, Pisces, my son Pisces, he just leveled up in his career, got a new job recently. So that's, that would be an example, right? But of course, it can go the other way. If you've just been out there, taking from everyone, then you're probably getting a little bit of a spanking right now. That's probably not going to be anyone in here, because anyone in here is putting out into the world, right? Like they're doing the things to, give instead of just take. So Queen of Cups, there could be this energy for the masculine about balancing their uh, give and take, right? And I mean, it is my clue card for Divine Feminine as well. It's very possible that the Divine Feminine is on the mind of the Divine Masculine. All right, let's look at the Divine Feminine energy next. Six of Cups comes out strongly all by itself. We all know Six of Cups is reunion energy. I've been feeling that energy strongly personally in my own journey. I'm not really going to go into that, but it is an energy of reboost, like rejuvenation. Um, Sometimes I see the Six of Cups as a spiritual gift. It is possible that someone has a gift for the divine feminine. The cups are emotions, your feelings. All right, the bridging energy comes out, and it's the Seven of Wands. The cards are flying out easily by themselves, which is always nice. A Seven of Wands, she's standing on top of the mountain, and the six wands are in front of her. She's made like a wall with them, and she's holding on to the seventh wand. And the point here is that she's defending herself, she's protecting herself. Seven of Wands talks about healthy boundaries. I mean, I'd be lying if I said any different. I feel strong reunion energies, and I feel like it's going to be important that healthy boundaries um, are intact and respected. Five of Cups is on the bottom. This has something to do with alchemy. This is something that is kind of new for me. The Five of Cups, when I first started reading tarot for the public, was very challenging. It was a very painful card. There was a lot of despair with the Five of Cups. And what I've noticed just in, very recently in the last few months, for me personally, the Five of Cups is very much changing into more of a part of alchemizing. We're no longer looking at the spilt milk. We're no longer, crying over the spilt milk. We're not looking at the spilt cups. We're not paying attention to the loss. That's what I'm trying to say. We're now learning to pull something positive from that situation. So we're learning how to alchemize, right? Five of Cups. I will say, it doesn't seem like that energy, like it's coming out. The Five of Cups is challenging. So we're alchemizing something that has been very challenging. I'm going to use the purple tarot to clarify, and I do see the lovers on the bottom. The lovers is Gemini energy. This is my clue card for the twin journey. Jenna says, I want 12 cats. All right, first card to come out is Knight of Wands. So Divine Masculine is very passionate with the Knight of Wands energy, very courageous, wants to deliver a message, could be excited about something, wanting to share exciting news, very possible. It could also be a caution. Nine of Wands comes out, boundaries, holding the line. That's going to be the Divine Feminine. So proud of the Divine Feminine, very focused on the boundaries. We have Six of Pentacles coming out for the bridging energy. We do have Knight of Swords on the bottom. There could be some type of clarity, understanding, freedom, liberation. The Six of Pentacles coming out on top of the Seven of Wands says that we're getting assistance. There's some type of help being given. Boundaries are equal on both sides. It's going to be important that boundaries are respected on both sides. I mean, I guess it's going to be important that boundaries are enforced as well on both sides. All right, let's pull. Should we post some messages? I feel like we should post a message. And I didn't think we were going to, so I didn't grab the message cards. But I mean, luckily they're right and next to my bed in my room. It's Carson. He knows Nana's in here. All right, let's see what Divine Masculine wants to say to Divine Feminine. I'm going to shuffle till they come out on their own. The first one is 11:33. It's a time, a synchronicity. Why can't I stop thinking about you also comes out. So Divine Masculine could be seeing a lot of number synchronicities. 11:11, I feel like has been huge for everybody. Your courage inspires me, and we are mirroring each other also comes out. All right, let's look at Divine Feminine to Divine Masculine. Ooh, you're good. You got the essentials. You got it. You did the same thing I did years ago. You gave up something that belonged to you. That was like a riddle for me for the longest time. It's friendship, in case you were wondering what it was. I don't know what to do. And last one, I can feel when you are sad. So there is a little bit of a vibe. There's strong communication, strong telepathy. I mean, I guess it depends on how the reading works for you. If you're looking at counterpart energy, it's definitely showing like strong physical reunion energy. If you're looking at internal masculine and feminine, as we should be, it's very much learning when to give and take. It's learning when to enforce your masculine energy and when to enforce your more feminine energies. All right, let's pull a guidance card. Carson's opinion on the matter. All right, the bonsai tree comes out. It's one of my favorite cards in Tree of Life. It's definitely a card of abundance, good wishes, all of those things. Let me pull it up really quickly. So it's number 87. It's on page, or it's number 28, and it's on page 87. And it's cultivation, things coming together. Surprise, not refinement, disciplined action, intelligence, poise, conformity, restriction, intolerance. It does say judgmental attitudes and pampering. Sandra, welcome. All right, here's our collective guidance. You are a work of art, and cultivating yourself very important right now. Tree of Life Bonsai card asks you to find ways to cultivate in yourself the traits that you admire and the habits that you think will help you most in life. You do not have to conform. You can be different, even to the point of being eccentric. Careful dedication and focus will shape you into your best form so that you can define yourself through your own unique sense of poise and grace. That's kind of that seven of swords that I mean, seven of wands that we've seen for the bridging energy. The Tree of Life bonsai is all about you getting into shape by understanding that you're pure, raw, natural material that has unlimited potential. With discipline and care, you can become whatever you choose. You may need to go through a planned course of action, or you may need to study over time in order to reach your goals. It's going to take a long, thoughtful consideration to shape yourself into being who you most want to be, but it will be very well worth it if you can take the time to give yourself what you need. Do not be afraid to cut out anything that hinders your development and know that careful management is required. Tree of Life Bonsai may also speak to you about being too restricted at times. Do you get annoyed when others let their hair down, or do you shirk others who are not as cultivated as you are? Not everyone has benefited from extraordinary attention or grooming, and so they may not have all that you've received in life. Tree of Life Bonsai asks you to avoid being overly precious as it can lead to self serving vanity. Allow yourself to be wild and crazy now and then. Try to enjoy the unexpected moments and strangeness that life sometimes brings us. If you've all been well taken care of by others and helped along your way to become an outstanding specimen, thank those who have helped you either inwardly or in person. You hear the door knocking. At the same time, if you've been deemed an ornament to fulfill the expectation of others to the point of self sacrificing your own internal essence of being, you may consider ramifications of breaking tradition and going your own way. It may seem wild and unruly, but it might be just what you need. But I feel like, again, Spirit wraps it up perfectly. The balance between the masculine and the feminine, learning when to give and take, and there's a strong sense of reunion. All right. Hashtag collective. Good way to start, right? All right, guys. So offerings are on the screen. I think I'm going to add message from your person. So if it's not up there, I don't believe it is. We'll add that as a free reading tonight. You can get one card. The communication is strong, and that is going to be Mercury. Mercury in Scorpio, getting ready to move into Sagittarius. Mercury in Scorpio, I feel like was hard for me. It was definitely very challenging. And it's moving into Sagittarius, which is wonderful. I'm super excited about it. But it will go retrograde in Sagittarius. So it is going to come back into Scorpio. It will end its retrograde, which means it will go direct again in Scorpio. But I feel like as the first time it was in Scorpio before the retrograde, it's really about pulling up hidden truths. I feel like there's going to be a lot of truth bombs experienced with Mercury in Scorpio, Mercury in Sagittarius, Mercury retrograde, Mercury moving back. I believe it's around the 18th, so the end of November is when it's going to move back into Scorpio. And again, this is just truth bomb after truth bomb after truth bomb. These are things that have been hidden for quite some time for whatever reason coming to the surface to be revealed. We're going to talk more about Mercury retrograde tomorrow night, guys. Tomorrow night, I have a YouTube members only. That's not true. I think I scheduled it for noon. Scheduled for noon tomorrow afternoon. I do have an appointment tomorrow night. So tomorrow at noon, we're going to do that members only. I actually had it scheduled last week. I had some issues. We had to reschedule. I had to push it back. Right? But we do have it scheduled for tomorrow. So tomorrow at noon, YouTube members only. We're really going to dive deep into this Mercury retrograde because I don't want it to be shocking. I don't want it to be surprising to anyone. I want us to be ready for whatever truths come out, whatever um, outcomes come from those truths. I think a lot of us are going to experience a lot of reunion periods. Here's what I'm going to say about that. Pay attention to your reunion periods. Like, pay attention to what times, like what's happening in the astrology when you're experiencing reunions. I was just telling a friend the other day, if you see someone, if someone comes back into your life during a Mercury retrograde, that person is not staying. And I don't know how else to explain that. Mercury retrograde is famously known for pulling up old shit that hasn't been healed, that needs to be healed so that you can move forward, right? In other words, like everything's energy. It's the energy is taking up space, so it's like it needs to come back to the surface so that you can heal it, cleanse it, remove it, and make more space for new things. Does that make sense? So when we experience a Mercury retrograde, what's happening when people come back into our lives at that time is, I mean, many times there, and I'm not going to say like 100% of the time. I mean, I don't, but I strongly just recommend you understand free retrograde is about closing out old chapters. So if someone comes into your life during a Mercury retrograde, it's very likely they're not going to stay. It's very likely that it's going to be for a short period of time. It's very likely it could just be a couple of weeks during the retrograde. Remember, retrogrades have shadow periods 2 weeks before, 2 weeks after. It's very likely that the person could return just for a few weeks, maybe just a couple of months. But the whole point of the return is something needs to be healed. Something needs to be closed. A chapter needs to be closed. And it doesn't mean that you're never going to see that person again. Of course not. It just means that there's some chapter, some lesson this person is there to show you. And if they're going to keep returning, you're going to keep repeating the same lesson until you finally get it, right? And then when you get it, is it possible they'll still return? They will. It's possible, but in a different form, in a more healed form, because now you've healed this situation and you've moved on to another chapter. Does that make sense? I'm not a fan of the Mercury retrogrades. I'm sure you can tell. All right, I see the list. Sherry is going first, talking to heaven. All right, so spirits we make me practice with some channeling. So what I'm going to do with talking to heaven is I'm going to shuffle the cards. I'm going to do the same thing I always do. I'm going to shuffle the cards. I'm going to pull one card. I'm going to give you the message that I hear, and then I'll read the message out of the book. This one by Enya is called Wild Violet. You feel so good in here. I have the temperature like absolutely perfect for my perimenopausal stage. The lights are dim. I have the candles going. I still smell the incense that I burned earlier. I have a really tiny room, so it's like when I burn the incense, it lingers. It stays for a minute. All right, channeled messages are no cards. No cards. I'm just going to tell you whatever I hear. And I can't promise. That's another thing. I probably should have said that at the beginning. Like, I can't promise I'm going to have a channeled message. So, channel messages are free. You can just tell me you want one, and I'll just tell you what I hear. But it doesn't mean that I'll have something. Like, I may not. I don't know. All right, let's start with Sherry first. Comes right out. I see all of your thoughts. Okay, so I'm going to describe the card I'm being told. So the card is a silhouette of a man's head and neck and the top of the shoulders. The head, it's like a side profile of the face, so you can see like the nose, the mouth, the lips, the chin. But the head is slightly tilted back into what looks like some clouds. The galaxy, the purple galaxy around the silhouette. Very beautiful card. There is what looks like, it almost looks like when somebody was drawing it, they splattered white paint in the center of the skull. I remember I'm looking at the side profile. Um, It's giving me like an aha moment. Um, this is it's so interesting because you just got done telling me about how you listen to the readings and it's you and your higher self, because this card is only one person. There's only one, human. Um, there's this galaxy, beautiful purple galaxy around him, but there is definitely something going on in the mind that is explosive. It gives a higher self message, but this is going to be a person. And I just saw dark hair, so I don't know if that means anything. Um, I know it's going to sound like really weird, but there's something about like a toothpick, or maybe someone who keeps a toothpick, or like, how some people just carry a toothpick. I actually think that you wonder sometimes if this person can see all of your thoughts, and they can't, not in ways that you think. Everything is an energetic vibration. But this person wants you to know that when you look for them, talk to them, ask for guidance or advice, they're doing everything within their power to help you, to guide you. And this person wants you to know that he's never trying to steer you in the wrong way. And it is a masculine energy because it's very protective. And me personally, Rosa, if I was to compare this energy to the energy that I picked up for you before, this person feels like they've gone through some type of process, like some type of ascension. It's interesting to me because, I mean, I guess it makes sense that we continue to ascend, but it never occurred to me that once we're no longer in this timeline that we would continue to ascend. But of course, that's silly once I say that out loud. So yeah, like this person has ascended. There's like great um, wisdom from when I first experienced this energy. All right, let's read it out of the book. So interesting. I lost the book. Oh, there. All right. I am using the Talking to Heaven cards by James Van Praagh. All right, it says, I can now hear your thoughts and feelings so much more clearly than when I was living in my physical body. Back then, I was consumed with my own ego thoughts and distracted by my fears. Now that I'm free of those shackles, I can focus upon giving and loving. What a big confirmation, right? So this person has really ascended. There's great wisdom. The energy is much more enlightened, compassionate, more towards the light, right? It says, so whenever you'd like to talk, I clearly hear you. More confirmation. Thank you. It says, just think of my name and then trust the thoughts and feelings that you receive from me. More confirmation. Man, loving this. All right. Those are my communications with you. I totally respect your free will and would never impose my own will onto you. I only want what is best for you. So please know that I'm here when you wish to talk. I love you. That's it. I don't know. Tell me how I did. Yes, guys, please hit the thumbs up button for me. Jenna says I have this song on my playlist. No way. It's called Anywhere Is. All right, Vanessa, general guidance. I'm going to use the Inner Eye Oracle. I know, right? That was so fun. Ooh, my favorite card flips out pretty easy. It's an anchor. It's just a pretty basic anchor. It has a chain around it. It's the Two of Diamonds, which would translate to Two of Pentacles, which is the energy of getting your footing. The card says stability on it, but I'm picking up something else. Hold on. Okay, so interesting little tidbit. um, when I was married, it was not a very healthy marriage. Two very unhealed people, right? Um, I always would read the little church signs. You know what I'm talking about when you're going down the road that they post on their change them every week or go out there and change the letters. You know what I'm talking about. They always have little things or Bible verses that are always really good. I've heard this before, and I did not realize that's who this was. I've heard this song before. But anyway, um, it's totally throwing me off. I didn't realize that this person sang this. But anyway, one of the last ones that I saw said something about love is the anchor in the storm or something like that. It recently came up. I used to share them on Facebook, so it recently came up in my Facebook memory, um, and that's kind of what That's what I saw immediately. Like when I turned over the anchor, there's something about a relationship with someone who maybe feels that they don't have enough. Maybe they feel like they're not enough for you. Maybe you feel like they're not stable enough for you. But there's a lot of love. It's one thing that I find really interesting is that people think that karmics hate each other, or that there's no love. Divine timing, welcome. But they'll think there's no love in a karmic relationship, and that is the biggest untruth, like ever, ever, ever. The love in a karmic relationship is so strong. Think about it this way: the love in a twin flame relationship is also very strong, but it's so confusing. We walk away several times. The love in a soulmate relationship seems kind of complacent, kind of calm compared to karmic love. So we walk away from soulmate love too, thinking it's not enough. It's not chaotic enough, right? Um, Karmic love, in a karmic relationship, the love is so, so strong. That's why people stay in karmic relationships for so long. That's why the bonds are so hard to break. So, biggest misconception is that karmics don't love each other or that there's no true love in a karmic relationship. This relationship, Vanessa, whoever this person is kind of giving me karmic vibes. Um, but there is this energy of like, let love be the anchor in the storm. I'm gonna look it up really quickly just to make sure I'm not missing anything. I feel like Spirit's telling me not to. All right, I'm not going to. That's it. That's the message. Supposed to be practicing channeling. Mercury retrograde is coming, Vanessa. So when you want to scream and throw things, I think Spirit's saying, you know, there's some type of like long term love there. There's something deep. There's something about time. All right. Sandra is next with a channeled message, no cards. All right, give me just a second. All right, so first I want to talk about it just a little bit. So I used to think that I had to be really, really quiet, and in order to hear spirit, if there was noise or dog barking or people talking, um, I would like freak out and think I couldn't do it. Furthest from the truth. When we have spiritual awakening, we gain all these tools, right? We learn all these things, these tools that spirit has given us in order to communicate with spirit, in order to communicate with our higher self, in order to connect with our ancestors and our spirit guides and the whole spiritual team, right? And I keep saying that the point is not to learn how to do all that and then like hide, right? Spirit teaches us all these things and gives us all these tools through our spiritual awakening so that we can live our life out here in the world, being surrounded by friends and family and blessings and happiness, but also challenges and difficulties, right? Because that's all part of life. There's no life where everything just goes super smooth. That's the message, Sandra. The message is that you could be worried that you're not hearing spirit. You could be worried that you're not making the right choices. You could be worried that you're second guessing yourself or questioning yourself with something, maybe like self doubt. It could have happened like very recently. It could have been like a yes or no type of situation. Do I, don't I? Spirit saying it's not about getting really quiet and being able to hear. It's about the feelings that you have in your gut. Your body sends signals, gives you certain feelings, and it's about trusting those feelings. That's it. That's the message. Most definitely. Is that his name? Sherry, tell me that that's his name. I mean, is that what you called him? Is that like a nick? But I mean, I know someone with that name, with that kind of attitude when we first met. So that would be so weird. Um, or you're just saying that it was rocky, like at the time, like it was just turbulent, challenging. I love it. Sandra says, I followed my gut and went with it. All right, talking to heaven for Diana. All right, Diana, say hi to me in the comments. Krishna, who is that? Krishna. It's not showing it to me. That's interesting. All right, so I have Diana next with Talking to Heaven. Card slides out on its own. We are so connected. All right, so first thing I'm supposed to do is I'm going to look at, I want to look at the bottom of the deck. I had to leave that way. Okay, so we are so connected shows like water molecules. And I don't even know if that's what that is. I just said that. Just looks like little bubbles, water. This is cellular, like DNA. So I wanted to look at the card on the bottom, and it shows the person. There's a stairs. There's a ladder. Something about the ladder sticking out to me. I feel like you've gotten that card before. That I had to leave this way card, and there's something about the ladder. Another interesting thing is I don't believe that I will ever channel on camera because I make the weirdest facial expressions, and I feel like the better I get at it, the weirder my facial expressions get, and my hands move. I've always been like a hand talker, but it's like really really move. Um. Anyway, focus, Rosa. Okay. So I want to say it's a masculine energy. It could be like dad. But there is this the message is very. It's more about DNA, genetics. We are so connected. I'm getting a little bit of of like a picture. It's like a film. So I'm just gonna tell you what I'm seeing. Is it possible? Like, do you ever look at your kids or your sons or like someone in your family and you see your dad? Does that ever happen? Like, or you see the essence? It's almost like someone has done something or said something, and it just kind of makes you think of that person. But it's not them, right? Because it's like they're not here. So it's like someone connected in some way, and the little molecules stuck out to me like little cells or something. So it's like it's DNA. It's somewhat related. It's a There's a long line. Like I didn't even notice this at first when I first looked at the card. There's like the line keeps going back. There's a whole bunch of them. So a bunch of these little molecules, and they're all stuck together. It's reminding me of like DNA. I think it's water in the picture. Um, but there's something about like the essence of someone in each one of you. All right, let's read what it says in the book. I will admit that one was a little bit harder because it was almost like I saw a little bit of like a little short film. We're so connected. I've been able to review my life here in heaven, and I've seen how perfectly everything we do is woven together. There are no accidents or wrong turns. Everything makes sense now. I wanted to give you the exciting news that in my life review, I saw that you and I have a strong soul connection through many lifetimes. That's why there's so many of these all the way back with this long line. Since we've been each other's teachers, sometimes in unpleasant ways, several times, in this lifetime we were magnetically drawn together because we had mutual work to do for ourselves personally and for others. And now that I'm here, our connection remains strong, just like when I'm living in my body. Our thoughts are in sync with one another. We often think of each other simultaneously, so think of me and know that I'm doing the same, always with love. Um, the word I kept hearing as I was reading it was generational curses. So it's very possible that you're breaking generational curses. And if you yourself didn't break them, it's also very possible that you're seeing them broken in your children. So it's like your children are breaking them and you're seeing it happen. Ooh, the goosebumps. All right, I'm going to leave that there. I hope that was helpful. Hippie drifter. I'm going to have to pull it up. Or hippie sabotage. We just talked today about my son getting on a ladder to clean my gutters. I'm wondering if this could be my uncle. He fell from, oh my goodness. Oh, the goosebumps. Oh, Diana. The ladder definitely stuck out. Be extra careful, right? But I mean, highly protected as well. Make sure you keep that in mind. That was the whole point then, right? If this person, passed that way, highly protected. I mean, don't be up there doing jumping jacks, but you know what I'm saying. All right. I thought I seen a question. Oh no, just guidance for red. Red. I can't see it. Red. See the Krishna at the end though. Oh my god, guys! The laptop is all the way at the other end. I don't know. It's gotten cold, and I just wanted it to be like cozy. You know what I'm saying? All right. Divine timing had a long request. Let's see if I can find it. For those of you guys that came in late, we were listening to Enya, Enya. I recently found her, and I was telling the story about how she lives in the castle, no husband, no children, 12 cats, and sings this beautiful angelic music. You know what I mean? So you guys were wondering like why why we were listening to all that. I found it. Um, is it is it a song or is it or they have okay? We'll just hit the shuffle. I got immune to danger, hippie sabotage. I'm loving it. Oh, Krishna, you gotta be patient. Be patient. All right, so Jenna is next. Channel message. Jenna, let me see a hi in the comments. See it. Sherry says sometimes it seems like the readings aren't for me. It's crazy. That's called collective energy. Collective energy. Okay, so we told us. It's gonna be the song, Jenna. Which is funny because Divine Timing gave me a group, and I just randomly picked a song. I heard the part really clearly where it says, "I live for now, not later." That's the message. Um, could have recently made some type of decision. I don't know why, but there's something about like pins and needles, maybe even like a pin cushion. Uh, maybe feeling like I don't know. But the message is that you're not going to wait for something. That you're not going to wait for something before you take action. The raising the stakes and winning wagers stuck out to me. It's like you're going after something. It's almost this energy like you've waited long enough. So now I'm just asking Spirit, like, is this the right move? Is this what you're supposed to do? Is it reckless by any means? And I heard, no, it's delayed. So you probably had the feeling like you needed to make the move sooner and maybe didn't, self doubt, but now you're not waiting anymore. And I'm definitely seeing like green lights. I want to say, look at your chart. Remember that grand water trine that I spoke about earlier? Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces. Um, this from the end of October, beginning of November, lots of green lights. Lots of green lights for Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces. Look on your chart, those areas of your life. Again, it's about balance and karma. So if you put a lot of goodness, good out, then that's what you're receiving back at this time during that grand water trine, end of October, beginning of November. November 5th is sticking out to me. Pretty coincidental because that's a pretty important date in my own personal journey. I'm having to take deep breaths, but that's probably just me. I think that's it. Lots of green lights, Jenna. All right. Hope that was helpful. What's the move, Jenna? It's like some type of physical action. Not necessarily like you're moving, but the type of physical action that you're taking that makes it risky, but you should have done it. And you probably have that feeling like, man, I should have done this already. This one's called Trap Station. I'm totally loving this. Divine timing. Thank you. November 5th is my mom and aunt's birthday, and they are twins. It's actually my twin. It's my counterpart. The reason I'm awake is also same day, same day. No such thing as coincidence, guys. No such thing. Yes, guys, please remember the thumbs up button for me. Jenna says, I've been in physical therapy and exercise. Diana's mom's birthday is November 2nd. Sherry says, wow, mom was a twin also. I'm loving it. All right, where are we at? Let me go find the list real quick. Diana, thank you so much. All right, divine timing. Divine timing is next. And then Krishna, if they held out patiently and waited. All right, divine timing. Tell me what kind, what reading. Are we doing talking to heaven, general guidance, doing a channeled message? Oh, guys, I also forgot. I did leave out the OG message cards. So if anybody is looking for counterpart message, let me know. What do I need to hear most? All right, let's do a channel message. Oh, you donated. Okay, let's do a whole reading. I was shuffling the cards already. I'm just saying, I already knew. All right, here we go. She wants to know what she needs to know. I'm going to pull the inner eye oracle back out. What's that, spirit? I'm really loving the vibe tonight. It's so nice. It feels so nice in here. It's like I finally got my room at the perfect temperature. All right, I'm just going to shuffle and let them come out as they want to. 2 cards come out right away. That's a good sign. The 9 of Hearts comes out, and it's the luck card. It shows the horseshoe. The 4 of Clubs comes out. It shows oh my God, I'm having a brain fart. A globe. Forgot the word globe. Um, it's showing African globe, if that means anything. But the planning is more of the message. So it's telling me that's all I'm gonna get. Okay. As I for the purple tarot. Okay, so I'm being told to look at these 2 cards. Okay, so I feel like what you need to know most is that you're gonna have good luck in whatever it is you're planning, especially if it has something to do with traveling. Um, I just heard "As the World Turns." That's actually it's a soap opera my mom used to watch. um, there's this energy too, like things are moving, like something keeps moving. 7 of Pentacles comes out, seeds that you planted. 5 of Swords, negative thinking. Yeah, so you've made some type of plan. 4 of Cups, you're manifesting something, bringing something to fruition. You could be struggling with self doubt. I think the message is really simple. Spirit saying that you're going to have good luck in whatever it is that you're trying to bring to fruition. It could have something to do with a person. One energy I'm picking up strongly is the earth sign, so Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn, but the other energy that I'm picking up strongly is the water sign, so Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces. That could be what you're planning, has something to do with the water signs. If this isn't a person, I would say look on your chart. Where are your water signs on your chart? Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces. What areas of those, those parts of your lives are you trying to manifest something in where you're struggling with self-doubt and telling yourself that you can't do something? Spirit saying you put in a lot of work with that 7 of Pentacles. It's time. And here's the thing with 7 of Pentacles. I'm using the purple tarot as well. Um, okay, so with the 7 of Pentacles, it's the card that says you're almost there. It's definitely the card that's like, don't quit now because you're so close to something. I looked at the chat. Oh man, dang it. Big trouble. It doesn't matter. I was almost there. This particular 7 of Pentacles is the one that I'm using the purple tarot. So it shows the blossoms already on the flowers that this person has planted on this hill. So Point is that you can already start to harvest some of what it is that you're bringing to fruition because some of it's already there. It's ready for harvest. But the idea with the Seven of Pentacles is you don't want to over harvest because if you take too much, then the rest of it won't grow. Does that make sense? All right, now I can pull. All right, so Six of Spades comes out. Two more cards come out. You get two and two. Six of Spades shows a key. It's one of those old-fashioned keys that goes into the hole in those old wooden doors. You know what I'm talking about? It says solution. So it's like you find the key, the idea, the thing that opens the door for you. The solution is change because the Three of Clubs comes out. I just burped. Confirmation. Um, but it shows. I like this inner eye oracle because in the change card, the Three of Clubs. By the way, Three of Clubs would translate to Three of Wands, which would be about taking action towards your future. So something about the action needs to change. Probably inaction, right? Like not taking any action towards your future. That's what needs to change. That could be what recently has changed. But I think it has something to do with going with the flow because it's showing that wheel that you see on the back of those old time ships. You know what I'm talking about? That the water would go through and the wheel would turn. So something about like going with the flow, not letting anything like slow you down or stop you. I think that is the like the key or the solution. The Fool comes out, Aries energy, leap of faith, starting over. It shows mountains on this card with snow, like snow-capped mountains. So there could be a timing. Nine of Wands comes out again. It's that energy of don't give up now. You're almost there. You've put too much into something. You've built something. Page of Pentacles. Five of Pentacles. It's okay to ask for help. There's also this energy coming out as like protecting yourself. Nine of Wands could be about like a boundary, standing your ground. This could be new to you. Page of Pentacles. That could be the change. That could be the thing that you're trying to go with the flow. There could be this balancing act between going with the flow and enforcing your boundaries, standing up for yourself. All of it is going to have something to do with some leap of faith where you start completely over the Fool and the Page of Pentacles. All right, I'm going to pull a guidance card from the Tree of Life. Feel like the earth sign stuck out strongly. The water sign stuck out strongly. Aries stuck out strongly. All right, the tree stump card flies out. And it's card 15. It's on page 48, Tree of Life Oracle. Pride in old ways, wisdom, experience, ancient knowing, established heritage, facing the inevitable. There's something about that because it's like, neon light. Reminder of loss, self involvement. It says, Tree of Life stump card signals a time to rest and sigh, thinking of the past as we move into the future. Sometimes we throw out the old and welcome the new, but there's a lot of wisdom in the ancient ways. Even as we renew our lives, we can still respect and benefit from lessons learned long ago. Take the deep wisdom of your elders and trust that some things never really change. The old ways serve us in that there's structures and rituals that have been meaningful for hundreds of years. Values and virtues that did not go out of style with the change in seasons. You may create new rituals or philosophies to live by, but understanding the ways of the old can benefit you because even as you evolve, the past is part of your story. You are not defined by tradition and culture, and indeed, not even the past defines you. But think now of ways in which that you have served, they have served you. Thank the past for what it has shown you about yourself, and give respect to the ancient ways, even if you choose new ways. I'm gonna stop there because I feel like that is the message. The Fool card is a big confirmation of that. You're doing something completely different. It's very possible that you struggled and there was some fear of wondering like whether you were supposed to be doing it, or even having fear of whether it would be accepted in some way, whether that's with like your families, ancestors, society, whatever it is. Spirit saying you have good luck on your side, and the key is going to be to go with the flow. All right, I'm going to leave that there. I hope that was helpful. Family heirloom marble top dresser that takes one of those keys. I love that. Where'd the dresser come from? Who did it belong to? Definitely picking up some uh, the veil is thin vibes. You know what I'm saying? Who's over there? Hi, are you still doing readings? Yes, we're still doing readings. It's been a good night, right? Like, I don't know, good vibe night for sure. Your great grandmother. I love it. Okay, so then my question is I'm going to start picking. Are you ready? What do you think not your, and you don't have to answer me. You can just be like TMI, Rosa, or not your business. You can just tell me mind my business. But I'm wondering, like, what is it that you're wanting to do that's brand new? Page of Pentacles, it's a clean slate. It's never been done before. The Fool, it's a complete leap of faith. But maybe you feel like you're questioning, like, are you questioning whether she would approve or she would want you to do something? You see what I'm trying to say? Like, that's my question now. Said, as an entire bedroom set, I left the dresser. I have the dresser and bed still. I love it. And Sherry's like so collective. I love it. For real. Yes, so nice. The only time I've seen keys like that was my grandpa's house. He had these old wooden doors. His house was built like in the early 1900s. Grandpa raised me, so I got to live there, and I had one of the rooms, one of those big doors, those old wooden doors that like I remember it had this top part that you could like unlatch and open it so air could come through. You know what I'm talking about? But it had those old keyholes, with the old key that you had to stick in there. It was all weird looking. All right, Krishna 7555. Let me know that you're still here, guys. Reading list is still open. Um, Offering general guidance tonight, general messages, talking to heaven, message from your person as well. I added last minute. I know it's not on your screen. You can get more than one, guys. You can get more than one. Yeah, having a good time. I feel like somebody wants a message. Says, I'm not religious and I'm a recovering addict. First one in my family wanting to pursue becoming a therapist. That's my goal right now. I love you so much. Thank you for sharing that. You would not believe how collective that is. It's important that we share, guys. Look how Sherry's freaking out. She's like, how come all this stuff seems like it's my life? Because it's collective. There's going to be a reason that we're all having a spiritual awakening at this time, that we all found each other, and that all our lives experiences are very similar. I mean, there's a purpose to that, right? She said, "Yes, I'm clean. 2 years and 8 months. Beautiful. Congratulations. I love it." I have a lot of addictions. I've come to learn. um, what I love is one of my addictions. Like, that's a thing, y'all. In case you didn't know. Um, but alcohol. I had the alcohol. That was the. I don't want to say my downfall. It was my way to the heavens, I guess. This is having to start my entire life over, but so worth it. Yes, absolutely. I didn't see the Krishna person. Did you guys? Did anybody? Sherry, I just got your I may be a little late message. I don't feel like you were late. All right, guys, we're winding down. Ooh, I see the Krishna person. All right, what was it? Was it a guidance? Was it talking to heaven? Was it a channeled message? Sherry says, I've started over quite a bit. I want to say I made a shorts this morning. I see you, Krishna. I made a shorts this morning. I posted it over on YouTube. Um, that said, you know, every day is a new day. Get up, smile, and start again. All right, Krishna, let me know what type of reading. Was it for guidance, general guidance? All right, let's pull some inner eye oracle. All right. Guys, when I'm doing a reading, you should be able to see your name on the screen. If you can't see the whole screen, make sure to hit that enlarge button to make it bigger. Let's talk schedule real quick. Tomorrow noon, we're doing members only for YouTube. We're going to look at Mercury retrograde. We're going to get deep down. It is not going to shock or surprise us. We're going to be prepared for it and ready. Tuesday, love and astrology. We're doing all November dreams. Make sure to join us for that. I will offer free and paid mini readings Tuesday night as well. Um, Wednesday, I'm doing November's Twin Flame Current Energy, and Thursday, we'll do all signs. 8 p.m., guys, Central Time. All of those are posted, so you can hit that notify me button. Guys, we are still a small channel, so sometimes YouTube doesn't send out notifications. I'm going to make sure to set yourself a reminder. But, I mean, it looks like we're going to be on almost all week. All right, Krishna, here we go. The pragmatist comes out. Queen of Diamonds. There's something about being practical when it comes to your money. your finances, your resources. Could be that you're being too practical. I think that's what it is. No more cards. The authority figure is on the bottom. It gives me an energy of source, creator. There's something very rigid in the energy. Like maybe you have a strong belief system and you think that it has to be that way. There's something that you want. It doesn't have to be money. But whatever it is you want, you think you can't have it. You think there's some type of authority above you. I'm not giving any clarifying cards. I believe the message is you have a belief of a source outside of you. And I'm not challenging your beliefs, as we all have our own belief systems. What I'm challenging is why do you believe that that creator or that source doesn't want you to have whatever it is that you want? Because I'm hearing that you can have it. So it's only your own belief that is blocking you or telling you that you can't have it. And just in my personal opinion, there is no outside source. There's no one greater than you. The creator is within you. You are part of the creator. You are part of source. If you want it, create it. Don't allow someone to tell you that you can't have it. All right, that's it. That's the message. I hope that was helpful. I hope it was worth the wait. All right. Is that last one? I feel like that was last. All right, guys. I think I'm gonna go ahead and wrap it up. Had fun, girls. Good night. We got to practice with the channel messages, right? We got to see some new energy. Guys, please remember Tuesday night. If you're looking for free readings, Tuesday night will be the night to come back and join us. Vanessa, can I have a counterpart message? Absolutely. Make sure to hit that subscribe button for me. If you got a reading tonight and the message pulled at your heartstring, please hit that like button for me. The hippie sabotage message on. Sorry, I'm hitting buttons. I remember you have a block, ban, and delete on TikTok. I mean, Twitch. Purple Violet taught me, remember? Oh, Vanessa, one of my favorites. It says, Pressure burst pipes or makes diamonds. I'd say it made diamonds. This is something that he said to me once. And it's funny because this is one of the many times that, like, for example, the pressure burst pipes or makes diamonds. Um, I always felt like he always said all these profound things to me. And then, I mean, I made cards out of them, saying, but then later I would find, like, I would come across like this, the famous quote of whatever it is, right? I heard so many times, though. But regardless, the message is like this person sees you as someone who's strong willed. Um, it also gives shiny objects. Like, you could cause this person distractions. Um, I definitely feel like this person sees you, though, like, above them in some way. Maybe even like something they can't attain. All right, I'm gonna leave it there. I hope that helps. Yes, guys, hit the thumbs up button for sure. All right, guys, we're gonna wrap it up. Thank you so much for coming in. Oh, the missing you throughout while I was recording. All right, guys, thank you for coming in, hanging out, energy exchange, hitting the like button, sharing, commenting, participating, all that good stuff. I appreciate you guys so very, very much. PLR members over on YouTube, don't forget tomorrow at noon Central Time, Mercury retrograde. We're going to take a deep dive. Tuesday, Love and Astrology. I'll be back with more free readings. We'll look at the collective a little bit more in depth. That's not true, not too in depth, because Wednesday we're doing the whole month of November collective energy reading for those of us on this very specific type of journey, right? And then Thursday, all signs. All right, guys. I hope to see all of you there. Thank you so much for coming in and hanging out with me. I appreciate all of you, and I'm always, always sending all of you abundant love and light on your journey. Have a good night, everyone.